Welcome back, fellow soldiers. We are finally back with the new developers update of this week. That is developers update number 82, with the first hint and the first infos about what we're going to get in update number 7. And as you probably realized and noticed, I've skipped the developers briefing number 81 of last week because this one is Ask Me Anything that was conducted with the Team Dix. So that is a video by itself that you can find on YouTube, and I can definitely recommend you guys watching it. It's 2 hours long, you don't have to watch everything, but there are a lot of questions that are being answered that come directly from you guys, from the community. But now let's dive right into this week's developers briefing, that is 82, and the sneak peek that we're getting on update number 7. And I can tell you guys, this gon' be good. This is so cool. When I saw it, just the first title, what it's about and what we're getting to see and what we're getting to play on, this is just insane. And without further ado, I'm gonna show you guys what the lead developer Max, that actually looks like a little bit like Roger Federer, I realized. Anyways, I'm gonna tell you what lead developer Max has to tell us about the upcoming update number 7. For a long time, we've wanted to put together a proper urban map that took the more open field combat of Hell Let Loose and placed it in a dense, built-up environment. To do that effectively and in a way that captured both the best of gameplay and the best visuals relied on us building up a huge asset library that would allow us to curate gameplay, as well as create a convincing urban landscape. We're incredibly proud to finally reveal that our next map will be Carentan, coming in update 7 alongside our animation overhaul and many other additions. Carentan is very different to every Hell Let Loose map you've played before. We've studied all the feedback from Saint-Mère-Église, the urban test run that the developers team did. From this, we boiled down the key elements that made up great urban warfare and then set about building a pipeline that would allow us to deliver this in an optimized way. And that's how Max is opening this week's developers briefing about the upcoming map that we're getting in update number 7, that will be Carentan. And during this developers briefing video of mine, you'll see a lot of screenshots out of this map that were provided on the developers briefing on Steam. If you are interested in reading up on it yourself, of course you can do that. I'll always link the developers briefing down below in the description. Now, Carentan is actually a very special map, as Max already mentioned before, and that is mainly because of two different things. First up is that Saint-Mère-Église was quite of a test run for close quarter combat for the developers team. If you've played on the map, you know there's a good mix of open fields, of gardens, of smaller gardens, and also close quarter combat inside the town, Saint-Mère-Église itself, with the big church in the middle. And as Max put it in the beginning of this developers briefing himself, the map Saint-Mère-Église was a huge success with the community base, and the feedback for the developers was mainly that the player base was amazed by the options and possibilities of close quarter combat inside a city. So the Saint-Mère-Église map was quite of a test run for now a bigger map, and that will be Carentan. And that is the first point. The second point why this map is very special is its history in World War II. And I also want to do a mini series sometimes where I go a little bit more into detail behind the Hell Let Loose maps and tell you guys something about the history that the maps play in World War II. But that is for another time. What I want to read to you guys nonetheless is a part of the history of Carentan and the battle at Carentan that is written on Wikipedia. Of course, you can read it up yourself, you'll get more info about it, but I found a small paragraph that I think just summarizes all the stuff that you have to know when you get into the battle for Carentan and what you can look up for when expecting update number 7. So here we go. In the early hours of June 6, 1944, the US 82nd Airborne and 101st Airborne Divisions landed at the base of the Carentan Peninsula. Although the landings were scattered, they nevertheless secured most of the routes by which the US 7th Corps would advance from Utah Beach, the right west flank of the Allied forces separated from the landings at Omaha and the other beachheads by the Dove River. The US 4th Infantry Division landed on Utah Beach shortly after dawn with few casualties and began staging for a move against the fortified port of Cherbourg, a port critical to future Allied operations. In the immediate aftermath of the landings, the priority for the Allies at Utah Beach was to link up with the Allied landings further east. This job was tasked to the 101st Airborne, who had landed in the area and had been conducting raids against inland targets such as artillery emplacements and securing and cutting off the area from German reinforcements. By June 9th, the 101st Airborne had reorganized sufficiently from the haphazard scattering of its units. It managed to cross the flooded Dove River using a few causeways passing through the flooded fields. The next day, Carentan fell to the 101st in the Battle of Carentan. Beginning with a dawn assault, it was an all-day, hard-fought, house-to-house fight against German troops embedded in strongly prepared positions. The capture of the town gave the Allies a continuous front joining Omaha to Utah Beach and the other 3 lodgements to the east of Omaha. Possession of the town was maintained despite a German armor-reinforced counterattack just to the southwest of town on the 30th, known as the Battle of Bloody Gulch. On June 15th, engineers of the 9th Air Force Engineering Command began construction of a combat advanced landing ground for fighter aircraft south of the town. Declared operational on 25th of June, the airfield was designated as A-10. It was used by P-47 Thunderbolts of the 5th Fighter Group until mid-August, then as a support airfield for supplies and evacuation of wounded personnel until November, when it was closed. So much for the part of the Wikipedia article that I wanted to read you guys. I think you can see where my joy and high expectations are coming from. This map is huge, as you can see on the screen yourself with a screenshot provided by the devs. There's a lot of close quarter combat that we can look for, and there will be a lot of tactical movement required to take the town, and that's exactly what I'm looking for when I'm hoping for a close quarter combat map. And I think the devs know what they're doing, and they'll provide us with a very cool map that we can look for in update number 7. Now, that's nearly been it for this week's developers briefing. I hope you enjoyed the small history part that I've read to you that brought some backstory for the Battle of Carentan, and also I hope you enjoyed the content in total that I provided for you. The devs also included some information about the upcoming developers briefing 83 of next week that will contain information about the animation overhaul, so I'm very much looking forward to next week's developers briefing too. Now, that's definitely been it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me, you can also do that on Patreon or by sharing and liking my videos. Stay safe, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see each other on the battlefield.
a tank somewhere fighting from it.